Oh, now it's on.
Okay, now it's on.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to
Well, here we are. Uh,
welcome to Malcolm Digital Radio with Malcolm Berman
and the illustrious Phil
and the
Marlowe.
let's Phil Margo of the original token. Are you the original tokens?
Yep.
And
Well, there actually was a group called the Tokens before us. They were a black group. They did a song called "Come Dance with Me," and Doomlang, and and um, and then they stopped recording, and we wound up with that name. But who wanted it? But that's what it was.
Was Neil Sedaka on the original tokens?
No, well, he was a group called Neil Sedaka and the Tokens in high school.
And that wasn't the
I
group.
wasn't part of that group. I didn't even know him then. I was just a freshman who didn't know what I was doing, you know. And I don't think I ever actually figured it out. Although, the one thing I did in high school, when I got into chorus, that was wonderful because I was amazed at first of all, that I had some talent, but second of all, that the music was beautiful, that when I sat in the middle of it and sang and all the harmony was all around me, you know, you're used to seeing it all, you're looking at it, either you're listening to a record, you know, back then you didn't have earphones, you just had the speakers from the Victrola, you know, the hi-fi. But when I was because of the getting in the chorus and singing, I got involved and I was more social. So when I went, so they had tryouts for the varsity show, which was the big show that they had every year, you know, the seniors had every year. I even though I wasn't in any dramatics class or English class or anything, I just went down and tried out for the hell of it, right? And they wanted to give me the main role, but the guy who got it was in the program for the whole 4 years. So they gave it to him, but they gave me a very fun part and I loved it. And I enjoyed doing it and it was really fun. And I never pursued it after that. After I graduated high school, because I got into the record business, I never pursued acting at all. And well, I have some regrets about that because I really had fun doing it and I was good at it.
Well, Phil, it's never too late now that you're becoming a internet star with your own show.
I did some commercials, you know, and this and that, but I'm just tired, you know. I don't have the energy to do anything anymore, and I don't even care anymore, you know. I mean, I've lost my not my will to live, but my will to, I don't know, my will, you know. I mean, I've never seen. I think this country has sucked the heart out of me. This administration, not only Trump, but the Democrats didn't do a fucking thing to protect themselves. They could have arrested Steve Mnuchin. They could have arrested Bill Barr. They could have gone after these people and put them in jail for contempt, and they didn't. They could have been, all of them, getting bread and water in the basement of the House of Representatives now and paying a big fine for what they did, but they didn't do it. And then they keep sending these emails. Well, fuck you then.
I don't know if they could have done it. They could have wanted to do it, but I don't know if they had the legal authority to.
Yes, they did. Steve Mnuchin broke the law. When the law says when Chairman Neal, the chairman of that committee, asked him for the tax returns of Donald J. Trump, in the law it says he shall turn them over. He shall give any tax returns that he's asked to give. He refused to give it. In the law, it says if you refuse to give it, you are liable for a fine and jail. They could have arrested him right there and put him downstairs in a room in the basement of the House of Representatives. They didn't do it.
But wouldn't that be the DOJ that would arrest him?
No,
Department of Justice or the FBI?
It's a sergeant at arms. It's got nothing to do with the DOJ. He was in contempt. It's called inherent contempt. Look it up, inherent contempt, because they should do it with Barr now. They should find him in inherent contempt. Come on, they're pissing all over our system. They're just pissing all over it. It's like no matter what. And then Trump says today, well, I'm going to cheat and I'm going to steal the election. Even if you win it, I'm going to win it. I'm going to declare the elections over on election night, and that's it. And the votes won't get counted, and that's it. Won't.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know what's happening, but I just
I'm
got
on the ledge right now.
No,
I don't trust the American people. I think these people, the lieutenant governor of Ohio, went to one of the rallies and told people to wear masks, and they booed him. The Trump people, they booed him. They're stupid. There's 200,000 dead people. I mean, what do they have to say? It's like, here's what it's like, and this is why I'm so fucking down. The German people did not have any belief in what was happening at the concentration camps. They didn't know, they didn't believe it. So, General Eisenhower said, take those motherfuckers and walk them right past what happened and show them what happened. And so all of those German people will walk past all of these corpses on piles of corpses and in shallow graves and all of the things that they did, that the Germans did. So I think all of these fucking Trumpites should be made to walk past all of the fucking grave sites and dead and where they put the bodies. There's going to be 400,000 people dead before the end of this year.
By the way, Eisenhower is the one that sent in the army photographers.
Yes. He said this must
take film of the concentration camps.
Yes, and now there are people who still say it didn't happen. It's a hoax. People still believe Holocaust deniers. You heard that shit, right?
Yeah, I think they're
the fucking pictures.
I think they're the white supremacists. But anyway, let's do our.
So what really bothers me is half of my countrymen are fucking morons, incorrigible. What did Hillary call them? What word did she use? She was right. Undesirables or whatever they were. They are. They're awful. They're the ones who are causing deaths because they're not honoring the reality of wearing masks and keeping their distance, and other people are dying because they don't want to fucking, because they're dicks. They want their dicks to show. You know, there are a bunch of people who, I got a bigger dick than you do. It's a dick measuring contest. That's all it is.
Because he's becoming a dictator.
Yeah. So I really am. I mean, whoever sees this show, it's my last one.
No, you can't get depressed because I can't do the show alone.
I got no more fight. You can't. RBG's granddaughter takes a thing and gives a message that she got from her grandmother before she died, and Trump says it's fake, it's hoax.
Okay.
So what's real? He's real? He hasn't told the truth in 4 years, but he's real and everything else is a hoax, and the people buy it. So fuck them.
But you still have to be the voice in the wilderness.
No,
I mean, eventually Hitler was defeated.
I'm tired.
Wasn't Hitler defeated? If everyone gets tired, then the son of a bitch is going to win.
It's too much. It's too much. And they send, we're going to do something. What are you going to do? You can't do a fucking thing. You can't do anything to stop them. And the fucking stupid Democrats who could have
stop hitting your computer.
Who could have I would hit something else.
Or the table.
And Hillary lost because the people who like Bernie Sanders didn't vote for her. You fucking morons. How do you feel about it now?
But anyway, so let's look for the future. If Biden gets in.
No future. No.
And if the Senate turns Democrat.
There's no future. We're done.
Well,
Trump is going to be president for life along with Putin. And you'll see, within 2 years from now, there'll be Russian soldiers in this country.
Hey, listen, he's 73 years old, and he's out of shape. There is hope.
Guys like that live to 100.
Nature might take over.
No, because he has the Republicans have given up on their constitutional oath. They signed they took an oath to uphold the Constitution and upholding Trump. And
But if you want to fight, the fight is to get them out of the Senate.
I have no snap.
Let's vote them out of the Senate.
It doesn't matter. They won't. They won't do it. People won't show up.
Who knows?
People won't vote. They won't vote because for whatever reason they won't vote. They'll hear something that Russia puts on the tube about Biden, and they won't vote. Or Trump will discount the vote. I mean, if he has 6-3 Supreme Court, he can go to the Supreme Court. Look what Bush did. Bush's people went to the Supreme Court, and he wound up to be president because they didn't count the votes in Florida. Well, and when they finished counting the votes, it turned out that he would have won Gore.
Yeah, well, the 6-3 is everybody is a conservative votes conservative, but this might not be a conservative issue. I mean, this might not be. The 6-3 would be loyal to Trump.
You think he's going to appoint a judge who's not going to swear to him that she will vote the way he wants her to? Are you kidding?
Well, I tell you, I was looking over the 3 female people that he might nominate. On a normal basis, they would be great people, except for Trump. I mean, everybody has their own, their own feelings, their own, conservative. It has been a liberal court, now it's a conservative court.
These people voted for Citizens United. They voted against. They said that the voting rights. They pulled things out of the Voting Rights Act because they said there's no prejudice. There's no prejudice, they said. The reason why Trump won, why George W. Bush was given the presidency was totally ridiculous. If you look at the decision, it was a joke. It had nothing to do with the fact you're supposed to count all the votes. Every vote should be counted. That's what this country is. Once they departed from that, we started on the slippery slope.
But that shouldn't have been close in the first place, because he was such a horrible president. It shouldn't have been even close.
No. What? Who?
Bush. Aside from Trump should have. Shouldn't have won.
You aren't watching your people. You got to understand that half this country is fucking douchebags. They really are. They are. They're not. They're what, racist. They hate black people. They hate Jewish people. They hate Muslim people. They hate everybody that's not them.
But that's not Trump's fault. He's galvanizing them. True.
It is his fault
that he's galvanizing them.
He's stoking them.
Right, but it's not.
Why do you think people aren't wearing masks? If Trump said, "Don't wear masks. If you wear masks, you're a chicken." That's what he said.
Or you're anti-Trump. You're
whatever.
A Democrat. Yeah.
People aren't wearing masks. So how many people do you think died? Well, that one girl's father died because he believed Trump, and he's dead. That girl from wherever. Whatever her name.
Yeah, I know the story. I'm forgetting where she is.
Yeah,
but let's see what happens now. He's having all these rallies that the people in front of the camera are wearing masks. The people behind the camera.
Did they ever give any report about if anyone got COVID from
Tulsa?
From his Republican convention, where they were all sitting right next to each other for 3 hours, screaming and yelling, where the air globules were floating around that anybody could breathe in.
The aerosol.
No one got sick from there, you mean?
No.
Nope. 1,500 people, no one got sick.
No one got sick. They were all healthy.
Bullshit.
There were no senior citizens.
No, because they didn't tell us. They didn't tell us. They didn't give any.
Well, if it will come out. You can be sure. Except that I don't like what's happening with the CDC now, because find out that they're not writing their own newspaper, their own
I don't have
reports.
I'm without hope. I'm without hope.
Well, we can't lose you.
I'm without hope.
I mean, even if it's a voice in the wilderness.
Yes, anyway.
We can't lose your voice.
Why?
We have to energize you.
That's another thing.
Because I haven't given up yet.
I wrote shit 2 years ago that it's happening now. You think anybody looked at it or cared about it? About the fires, about everything that's going on around us now. I knew it was going to happen.
Mhm.
I wrote it. You saw my blogs.
Yeah.
I wrote, don't open California. It's a nightmare. Don't do it. We're still right in the middle of it. And they opened California. And they opened schools all over the country, and now it's spiking all over the country, and the number of deaths and the number of cases are going up.
Well,
And
that's
that's half of it because not everybody's being tested. So I mean, and I'm in the vulnerable spot, so I can't. I have to be afraid every time I go out the store, So
yeah, but you have to keep on fighting. Remember, it's not only about you; it's about your kids and your grandkids.
Somebody else can fight.
You have remember, you have a legacy. It's again, if you were alone in the world, if you didn't have any relatives, if you didn't have anybody, to carry on, the name of Margot.
You know what? One of the things that I'm so heartbroken about is the fact that I have children and grandchildren.
Right,
We're
that's what I'm
going to have
saying.
to live in a country that I couldn't even imagine except in movies about dictators.
Yeah, well,
And now we have one. We have a dictator.
You
He's
can
a
be
dictator.
heartbroken. You can be heartbroken. You can be, and you can be depressed, but you can't give up. Because if you give up,
nothing I can do anymore.
you can be, as I say, a voice in the wilderness. I don't know. I don't know where this show reaches, but I know there are people that contact me that they like the show, they agree with us, and there are people that are angry at me. So we are reaching some people. So you have to have a voice.
If they're angry at you, they're stupid. They're really stupid.
Yeah, but
this isn't a question of ideology. This is a question of a simple document, the Constitution of the United States. And the president is shitting all over it. And anybody that says it's all right is full of shit too, because it's not all right. Either you will lie to the Constitution, which is the basis of our, no matter how flawed it was, the basic thought was everything is about America, not about the president. The president is just there for a short time. This guy wants to be president forever, and I think he will. So, I just, I mean, and there'll be armed rebellion here. If Biden wins, these guys are going to run around shooting people. You watch. We're in for some. You have no idea what's coming.
But we'll still have our show.
He can stir his people up and say, "I won," and I think there's going to be crimes happening, beatings and shootings at the polls. I think people are going to be beaten up and prevented from voting. Or thugs are going to be at the polls. They're going to have these thugs without name tags, just in camouflage. You watch. They're going to be at the polls.
I hope not. I'm not as pessimistic. I'm not as pessimistic as you.
Oh, I didn't think it would get this far. Once I saw it got this far, look, Trump goes to jail if he doesn't get reelected. He goes to jail. There's so many charges against him. I mean, they're all popping up now, the collusion, all of that shit that went on with Russia. All of a sudden it's coming to light now even more. More of the FBI is saying what's going on.
Right.
So, he's going to go to jail. He's going to have an orange suit. He's going to be there. He's going to go to jail.
Well,
so he has to do everything in his power to avoid that. And what he's going to do is he's going to cheat and win the election. He's going to declare the election's over. But, they'll have early results in, and maybe he'll be ahead because most of Democrats are going to vote by mail because they're smart. They don't want to risk getting sick. Republicans don't give a fuck because he trained them. Mm-hmm. So, it's like Jim Jones, drink the Kool-Aid. Okay, good. So they had the Kool-Aid. They're going to go and vote. And you won't know how many of them will get sick. And you don't know how many of them got sick at his rallies. But it's undeniable. It gets passed. You know what I mean? He had half of his Secret Service staff were ill with the disease.
Well, the Secret Service wear masks.
The only rally that people got sick from was the one that they had in Tulsa. Come on, and no one's wearing.
I think the Secret Service wear masks.
Yeah, but sure. Afterwards, after half of them got sick.
Well, the thing is that they have this still today. There was a controversy about with the CDC says the virus is airborne.
and then they took it back.
Yeah.
Because
And
Trump
they
told them.
and they said last week, where you don't have to be tested even if you were exposed. And then
Right.
they took that down, and that wasn't written by them. That was written by the administration. But let's get back to one thing, another thing, which happened while between our shows is Ruth Bader Ginsburg
Yeah.
passed away.
Yes.
And let's pay proper respect to that lady, because I didn't know that much about her. I knew that she was, a fighter, but I didn't realize how much of a fighter and how much she did for, women's lib, for the equality, how bright she was. I mean, she was #1 at Columbia Law School, and I think before she transferred to Columbia, she was #1 at Harvard.
Yeah.
And
she left Harvard because they gave her shit about being married and having a baby.
Right, and she couldn't get a job for the Supreme Court.
She couldn't get a job anywhere. She finally wound up teaching, and then she worked for the ACLU, and then she became a judge, and then she became
and they said the jobs that she got, they didn't pay her how much a man got. Why? Because she was married and her husband could earn the money.
Right.
And it was unfair that she earned that money and other men didn't.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to go back to all that shit. We're going back to that.
I don't think so.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, the big issue, which we know we're going to go back to, is if we have that other Supreme Court justice, is the end of Roe v. Wade.
That's going. Roe v. Wade's going. The Affordable Care Act is going.
Well, I don't know. Well, the thing that I don't understand is that Trump said he's for not the Affordable Care Act, but
that's the first thing you could say.
The pre-existing conditions.
It doesn't matter what he says.
I know, because he's in court fighting it.
He's a liar. He's told 25,000 lies since they came down the banister, the escalator. Doesn't even count what he did when he was in New York. It's like, this is the worst case scenario. The worst person that could ever be president became president. The worst person. You couldn't have gotten a worse guy. A guy who doesn't care about the people he serves. He doesn't know what the word serve means. Except here, bring me my breakfast. And he's winning. He's got it. He's winning. He's winning all around. Maybe maybe that's the way it's supposed to go. I keep thinking if Ruth Bader Ginsburg could have stayed alive another couple of months, we wouldn't have been that we'd have a shot. Now
I mean, she feels. I got to get a T-shirt, the Notorious RBG, because I mean, you have to look at her. She has so much spunk. I mean, she was fighting at the Supreme Court. She was fighting her 3 bouts of cancer.
Yes, I know.
I mean, she fought till the very end, and she was fighting at the end to survive.
Oh, I don't blame her. I was damning the fates, not her.
And you should inherit some of that, esprit de corps. After all, you're from Brooklyn also.
No, I don't have it anymore. I really don't.
She went to Madison High School. She's from the Midwood section of Brooklyn. She's Jewish. I mean, you have a similar background, similar race. From Brighton Beach. Lincoln High School, that was our rivals, Madison.
She's 9 years older than me.
Yeah, but that was the same year that Bernie was in that. Not the same year, but Bernie went to Madison also.
Oh,
and he's what, 2 years older than you? I think Bernie is 80 or 79.
I'm not sure. I don't know how old he is.
But a lot of great people come from Brooklyn. You could be one of them. But you got to fight.
I don't have to be.
You don't have to be, but
I'm just tired. I'm tired of every day hearing things are worse. Aren't you? Look,
well, I'm tired, but again.
Well, we have.
How many grandchildren?
We have an administration that stole 2 Supreme Court seats. Stole them. I mean, this will be the second one. They stole the one with that Obama was supposed to have the choice because they made up some bullshit story.
With Garland.
Yeah, just like that memo that the president shouldn't be arrested. It's that bullshit. But right now, we have a pandemic, we have fires, we have hurricanes, we have floods, we have disease, we have um, um, um,
Well, I was just reading where the oceans are changing and the sharks are coming in areas they've never been before.
Of course, and we have racism is rampant. We have the FBI says that the worst threat is white supremacy.
Yeah.
With all the threats, with all the terrorist threats, the worst threat we have, according to the FBI, is white supremacy, which this president is on the side of.
The worst domestic.
Well, how much could you say? We have a president that likes people who hate black people and Jewish people
and brown people.
What?
And brown people.
Well, yeah.
Latinos.
Any color but white. And they don't realize they're a dying breed. They really are. This country's not going to be white. It's going to be chocolate and brown.
The world, it is. There's so much, into marriage.
And then they can only push it away for so long. But it's unfortunately it's on my watch.
Yeah, but again, which I reiterate. How many kids do you have?
How many kids do I have?
How many children do you have?
3 children and 8 grandchildren.
That's their world. I mean, you can't give up and say, okay, guys.
And they're going to have to fight for it.
Right, but are they going to say, my father gave up the fight?
Yep.
Yeah. What did your son say to that?
Give it up. I didn't give it up immediately, but now I'm done because I don't see any hope.
Hey, you live.
You know what? And we haven't even seen his bag of tricks yet. He stands there and he says, "I'm going to cheat and fuck you." That's what he's saying. And what are the Democrats doing? Oh my goodness!
I have to get Sylvester Stallone to talk to you. You got to get some of that Rocky music.
I just can't do this anymore. It's like, after Ruthie died, I lost it. I don't feel it's worth
well, it's worth it. You just feel defeated.
My ego, it's not about my ego. It's, you know what I mean? I'm not doing anything. I'm not accomplishing anything. It's like I'm just venting, which is not helping me.
Yeah, but you don't know how many people you're reaching.
I don't know if I'm reaching anybody.
We might not be reaching anybody. We might be reaching tens of thousands eventually.
You would hear something. I've said enough things to insult people that you'd figure that they'd say, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, but just don't give your home address.
Well.
Or your telephone number out. No, I will.
I don't get phone calls. I don't know what the value of this is anymore.
Well, that's like saying
when we were doing the show at the radio station. It was like bullshit. It really was. It was like,
Well, that was the name of the show that we did.
I know, but
stop the bullshit.
I thought there was a chance that people would pick up on it. I mean, I said things in that show that foretold what was going to happen, and it still didn't matter.
Well, maybe now that it's happening, and people will see, they'll start seeing it when, if they take Obamacare away and they take pre-existing conditions away, and Trump will say, "Oh, I didn't know it was so hard to do," because he has a plan, right? He said everybody's going to pay less, have better coverage. Meantime, in 4 years, he hasn't shown any plan.
Who does?
Trump.
He has no plan.
He has no plan. He hasn't shown anything.
He has no plan except he tweet and I don't know how people. That's what I don't understand. Why do people listen to him? So because they don't want to be tweeted against? Because they're going to be fired? Well, fuck you, fired. Stand up, be a man, be a woman. These people who are working for the government took an oath. They took an oath. Uphold your oath.
Well, I think all the years.
They didn't investigate Russia because they were scared. I mean, the whole thing, the whole Mueller thing, they didn't investigate the money connections with Russia because they were threatened by Trump not to, and they did.
Well, the whole thing that's going to turn him over, that's going to defeat Trump, is the money. If his income tax ever comes out, who financed them? How much money he's borrowed from Deutsche Bank, which is actually run by the Russian oligarchy.
But it's all going to be too late.
It's not too late. It's going to happen, and there'll be if he is there, then there'll be the revolution. It might be bloody, but there will be a revolution.
Good.
It's not only the right wing it's going to take over, the liberals will take over, if it comes to that point. But I still think we, again, even if I don't think if he loses that he's going to get the Supreme Court to overturn it. If he gets the Supreme Court to overturn it, then we're in for trouble. But I think he's going to lose, and the Senate's going to return back to the Democrats, and then they could do something. Then we can do something, even if the Supreme Court is against us.
No, the Supreme Court, no, because they'll go to the Supreme Court. That's what they do. They run to Mama. Mama is the Supreme Court now. That's what they did with Bush. Bush shouldn't have never had the presidency. Never. And when they counted the votes, they found that he really didn't win. That it was really Gore who won. He won Florida. And the Supreme Court gave some bullshit answer, and they'll give some, look at the Voting Rights Act. They squashed the Voting Rights Act, and they said, because you don't need it anymore because there's no prejudice in the United States. Really? They actually said that.
You think there's prejudice in the United States? Actually, if you compare, I'm being sarcastic, but if you compare us to many of the other countries of the world, we might not be any better, but we're no worse. All the countries, Europe is becoming like that. It's becoming very right-wing.
They're not other countries. We have a constitution that says basically that, in the Declaration, that all men are created equal. We can't say other countries do this. Our country was set up in a whole different way, that everyone was equal and everyone's vote counted.
No, not everyone. All men are created equal if they're white and they're not women.
Yeah, but you got to understand the basic principle of it was we fought a civil war over that, and the Civil War should have decided it, but the people who wanted the things to stay the same killed Lincoln. Johnson became president, and he rolled back everything the Civil War got started, and you had the Jim Crow era where they built all those fucking statues to the Confederate generals, the ones that they're tearing down now. But they set racial back. But how could anybody think that another human being is not as good as them? Mm-hmm. How could they think that? How could they even, and they still think it now.
They still do.
So how could they think that? I mean, George Floyd's daughter said.
George Floyd, yeah.
George Floyd's daughter said, or I think his daughter or his niece or somebody said the most brilliant thing I ever heard. It was, everything doesn't come in one way. Birds are different, animals are different, and people are different.
And we all live together.
One is as good as the other. There's no better. White people aren't better. White people were richer. They also stole the land from the Native Americans. They stole the land. They stole the land from Mexico from the Mexicans. This country wasn't a free, clear place. We had to steal it. We stole it, except for the Louisiana Purchase.
Louisiana we purchased, and we purchased Florida.
Right, we bought that, and Florida, right. But otherwise, we threw them out of California. So,
it was manifest destiny from ocean to ocean.
Yeah, with all the Declaration of Independence and stuff.
How come we didn't get Canada?
I think that
it was too cold.
We could have. I think we could have.
Anyway, I'll give you a few days to rest up. As a matter of fact, instead of doing Thursday, let's do the show on Friday. Oh, by the way, just news for you. I'm going to be doing a show with your sister.
When?
I'm doing it Thursday before our show would go on. It's going to
Good.
50 Shades of Green Divas
Good.
with her and Meg.
Good. So I'm
I'm gonna
leaving
do
you
it.
in good stead. I'm leaving you with somebody to work with.
No, well, we're not going to
Bye,
talk about.
everybody.
We're not going to talk politics, and I want you back, but make it Thursday.
No,
And
I'm not. I'm not.
and we
No,
might have.
I don't say these things lightly. I'm really serious. I'm done with this. I really am.
And we might have Meg's husband Wayne coming aboard as a political show. He might be in. Do you know him?
So got good. So it got good stuff. Very nice. I'm glad.
No, but I want you to come in.
No. I'm not. I'm done. I'm really done. I'm serious. I don't. I just can't see.
We'll talk. Think about it. But anyway,
Everybody out
before I
there,
leave, have a happy New
if
Year.
you're a Republican, you're a fucking moron, or at least learn how to behave and be a gentleman or a gentlewoman, and have respect for your fellow citizens, and wear a mask and treat them nicely, and don't vote for Trump because he's a liar and he killed 200,000. Well,
People.
he killed
Minimum.
150,000 people probably, and by the time the election day comes around, it'll be close to 250,000. And see the movie Idiocracies because it's a story about you.
In the meantime, I don't know if you're religious or not, but it's next Monday is Yom Kippur, the New Year, and to all our people out there, Lashana Tova,
Yeah.
a happy New Year, and things will happen.
I don't know.
We'll talk. Bye.